Well, welcome to Lunch Bunch. I hope you're all enjoying your summer so far. We haven't really had much of a summer season yet here in Golden. I think it's waiting for the official start next week. Um, but everything is absolutely green here and beautiful on campus. So we're, working hard here at Mines, and everyone might think we get summers off, but we don't. Summer is a really busy time for us. We just enjoyed our annual Golden Golf Tournament last week, where we had about 180 golfers at the Westwoods Golf Club, just not too far from campus. And we're starting our season of summer welcome parties for incoming students. We've got about 20 or more scheduled in cities across the country this year. We are also out doing Minds on the Road events, bringing out faculty and staff to visit with our alumni where they're at. So please check our event calendar if you're able at weare.minds.edu and try to join us if you're out of town, or join us at one of our local events. We'd love to see you there. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andy Flynn. I'm the class of 86 and 98 and Director of Alumni Engagement here at the Foundation. If this is your first Lunch Bunch, welcome. And for those of you who are regular attendees, welcome back. A lot of familiar faces today. We're glad to have you with us as we continue our monthly look at people and programs that make Minds great. Today, we shine the spotlight on our club sports and intramurals program, led by John Howard. Just speaking to John, finding out he's been with Minds for about 18 years working these programs. So he has a lot to share. You'll hear from John and his staff shortly about the history and development of this program, which now offers over 20 different programs for students to choose from. In addition, John will discuss how this program plays an integral part in the Minds student experience and how you can get connected and involved. Before we start, a few quick reminders. Any questions that you submitted with your RSVP have been shared with today's speakers. And if you think of a question during the program, please feel free to use the chat function. We'll keep an eye on it. And if we run out of time and don't get to your question, we'll circle back with you after the program. Ruth, already had mentioned that we record each of these programs and they're available on our alumni website. And if you have ideas for future speakers, please give us a shout and let us know what you'd like to hear about. With that, please join me in welcoming John Howard and his staff to this month's Lunch Bunch. Take it away, John.
Andy, thank you so much. Ruth as well, and happy Friday Eve, friends and Orediggers around the country and globe. Just wanted to say thank you so much. As mentioned, this is being recorded. We do have a lot of content. We acknowledge that up front. So there's a lot of slides. It is being recorded. We're happy to share the slides. Our contact information is there as well. So feel free to reach out with any questions that you may have. And with that being said, I'd like to welcome my two co-presenters. I will let them introduce themselves, starting with Jill.
Hi, I'm Jill Scott. I'm a current Minds student. I currently hold the role as the fundraising chair for our club sports, and I participate in women's water polo.
Hi, everybody. Adam Hickel. I'm our Director of Intramural Sports. I'm a fellow pro staff member working alongside John, and I mainly oversee intramural sports. I do help out with club sports quite a bit, kind of mostly as a on-site administrator for club sports events we have on campus. I just finished my 8th year here at Minds, so I've been here a good amount of time, certainly not as long as John has, but thank you all for being here and letting us, tell you about our programs.
Thank you, Jill, and thank you, Adam. Really appreciate it. going to turn it back over to Adam as we'll start off with intramural sports.
Yeah, so telling you all about intramural sports. We'll get to some statistics a little bit later on here. But intramurals, they're just for the Mines community to be able to play structured sports leagues, tournaments. We'll kind of go through some of the different sports that we have. But we also have open play opportunities, just a chance for students to get together, meet some new people in a really kind of recreational, kind of low-key environment. So, with intramurals, the idea is that, students are coming out to be able to get some exercise, meet some new people, release some stress, from the studies here at Mines. And so very, very happy to be able to offer these intramural sports. So kind of our structure here for intramural sports is we have league sports, we have tournament sports, and then as I mentioned, we have open play. So starting off with our league sports, this is kind of a list of some of our various league sports that we offer, traditional things, soccer, basketball, volleyball, flag football. Some kind of unique sports that we got into this year were 2v2 soccer and blitzball. Blitzball is essentially like wiffle ball. So definitely heard a lot of good things about offering those two new sports. And so, we got a few pictures accompanying all these slides that kind of show you some of the various sports that we offer here. So moving into to tournaments, they're typically done in one day. And so as you see, we have a big list of tournaments that we offer here. This is where we kind of get more into our unique events, dodgeball and badminton and table tennis and paper airplane golf. Definitely another unique one here that it's golf, but you're using a paper airplane to try and navigate the course. So that's something cool and unique that I think the students here really enjoy, trying to get their creative engineering side on, trying to make the best paper airplane they can to be able to navigate that course. So again, a couple pictures of the various things that we offer on that front. And then, as I mentioned, open play, and then we have our play-by-day tournaments. Those are a little bit unique where those run about half of the semester, and they're different than traditional tournaments where we set a bracket or a schedule for the students, but then they have a week to complete their match. So they contact each other to try to find the best time to play their match, and then they report the results back to us. So the only two sports we run for that are chess and foosball. Those are great ones that students can kind of get out there on their own. We don't need staffing there, things like that. But then in regards to open play, those happen on our intramural fields, and we offer kind of the traditional lawn type games, cornhole and volleyball. We also have spike ball, badminton, soccer is a big one. So with soccer in particular, that's our most popular sport for intramurals. So we do our best to offer soccer year round, whether that's indoor soccer, outdoor soccer, that new 2v2 soccer league that we were offering, or just this open play, getting students a chance to get out there and play some soccer. So this is our stats slide. So the two highlighted numbers there, we have about 1,500 unique students that participate in intramural sports on a yearly basis. So that's pretty close to about 25% of the student population that is participating in at least one intramural activity throughout the school year. And these are new records. Pretty much every year since I've been here, we've kind of increased our participation, and even more so this year as opposed to previous years. This was definitely a huge new record for us. And then the intramural PA credit. So students have to attend a physical activity class so many physical activity classes throughout their time here at Mines. And so we offer students the opportunity to earn physical activity credit for playing intramural sports. And so as we see there this year, we awarded 145 students PA credit for participating in intramural sports.
One thing of note is that through student fees and our funding, all of the intramural events are free for the students and campus community. And as Adam mentioned, these are all program records as well.
Yeah, so just a kind of quick breakdown of those unique student participants. Certainly it does involve some faculty and staff as well. Faculty and staff are allowed to play intramural sports along with the students. We don't get a ton of them coming out to play, but I know a huge participant every year is Dr. Garrett. He always comes out and plays intramural basketball every season, and so it's always awesome seeing him out there. He's always dominating the students, so it's always great to kind of see that. But pretty good split between male and female students here, 75% male, 25% female. Obviously that's pretty close to our campus population as a whole. So really awesome that we got a lot of students that are coming out to participate for us. And so kind of highlighting some of our unique events here. One of the really cool things that we get to do is we play our intramural basketball championships at Ball Arena. Now we can say, at the, NBA champions Ball Arena, where the Denver Nuggets play. So pretty awesome. And so this is a really unique experience where, we play our men's and women's championships there at Ball Arena. We have our students that help out. They officiate the game, they keep score, as you can kind of see here. All of the teams and the staff, are provided a ticket to the Denver Nuggets game the day of our championship. So it's a really awesome opportunity for them to get to a professional arena, to be able to play basketball, and then have some fun afterwards. Being able to check out the Nuggets game. So another kind of signature event we have is our Big Pink Volleyball tournament. And so the main idea with this event is to kind of highlight breast cancer awareness. And so as you see here with the pictures here, the sport is volleyball, but it's played with this giant pink volleyball. So it's kind of something different, unique, and takes a lot of work to try and play this, but definitely something that the students really enjoy. The next one is our Go Global Indoor Soccer Tournament. So this event is focused on highlighting our international students. And so we offer this during International Education Week every year, which is in November. And the idea is kind of a play on the Professional World Cup. So students, select a country to represent. That can be the country that they're from. So as we see here, most of the students in these pictures, these are our students from Saudi Arabia. They're definitely very interested, and they really enjoy soccer, and they love this event every single year, and they've won the event 3 out of the 7 years I think that we've offered it. So pretty awesome stuff. And then one of the cool things that we do with this event is that the winners, they get their champ picture taken, and then that gets put up into the plaque that you can see in the top right photo there. And that plaque stays in the international office throughout the school year. And then kind of our last big signature event is Battleship. So it is real life Battleship. What we do is we put canoes into the pool. And teams are trying to sink each other and be the last canoe standing or not sunk. And so again, this is kind of our kickoff event. One of the events we usually do at the very start of the fall semester to get people excited about intramurals. And it's a really fun time. And really with any of these intramurals, if you were to check out our YouTube page, if you were to search Mines Rec Sports, you can kind of see a bunch of videos of all these various events that are taking place. So
also, just as you can appreciate, we have two intramural fields on campus, separated by the D parking lot. Intramural South has lights, and IM North has the goalposts. North is our home rugby pitch for men's and women's rugby. But we definitely get a lot of time and space and usage out of those two, as you can see. And a subtle little plug there. We're hoping that one day we can have lights on North so that we can provide more opportunities. And then typical, go ahead, Adam, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so kind of a typical night for us here with Intramurals and Club Sports, offering around 25 program hours at 9 different facilities on campus, anywhere from, 15 to 20 student employees working per night, serving over 500 students. So approximately 11% of the student population on a nightly basis. So we have a lot of things going on. We're in a lot of places on campus, and certainly we couldn't do everything that we do without our, awesome student staff. And so, our kind of staffing breakdown, this is a list of our different positions within the department. And so, you can kind of read through that on your own there. But in total, we employ 60 plus students on a yearly basis. This year, we had a pretty good mix of male and female students, 36 men, 26 women. And you can kind of see the total amount of shifts and hours that we're scheduling on a yearly basis. It is, quite a lot of stuff. But again, we couldn't do it without all of our awesome student staff.
John, I have a question. Of all of your staff and it's a huge number of people that, make all of these programs run. A lot of students involved. Are they coaches? Do you have paid coaches? Are they trained to be coaches? Like, what's the coaching component here? A lot of participation from students, but how do you do all that? Does every sport have a coach necessarily?
So on the intramural side, it's more informal. The students are able to sign up for the night that, hey, we want to play basketball on Mondays at 7, and we'll show up and play basketball Mondays at 7. On the club side, which we're going to get into those in just a few minutes, but we do have coaches. Each club is required to have a coach, and they're there as an instructor only. And but we'll circle back to that in just one sec. We'll be there in like just two slides or so.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so for intramural sports, again, it's for the Mines community. It's really targeted for the Mines students. So we also have students that help to officiate our intramural sports for us. And so our kind of governing body, NERSA, they offer regional and national tournaments for various intramural sports. And one of our students a few years back, Daniel Lira, he went to officiate at one of the regional tournaments and did a awesome job, and got selected to officiate at the national flag football tournament. So really awesome opportunity for our students to get more involved with officiating and kind of get our name and brand out there in regards to what we have to offer and our students. So.
Awesome. As promised, switching gears, club sports. So club sports kind of falls in that middle ground where, varsity athletics is really, coach driven, and they run the program. Intramurals is more informal. Club sports kind of falls in the middle where they're student run organizations. And most of our club sports represent Mines at the highest level. So our first goal is student leadership development. And so that's a really important component for us, is that the students are actually running the clubs. Get into that a little bit more. The second goal is that intercollegiate competition. We believe through sports and that they can learn and grow and develop as a leader through running the club and beating in athletics. And this is our current list of club sports. And so we have 20 competitive clubs right now.
So how we, as the students, manage these club sports, so each individual club actually has their own organization. And so students will nominate people to be presidents and the treasurers and handle risk management. And so that is all student driven, and that's how they schedule all of their games and practices. And how they do that is they work with our club sports council. So the club sports council is usually also other club sport athlete students like myself. And we manage and talk with all the individual clubs. So it's a really cool situation that we have that for the most part, it is all student led. And it just really promotes student organization.
So at the beginning of the year, the Club Sport Council, so the Club Sport Council president works with each club president and each, Club Sport Council treasurer with each treasurer and so on. And they work with them on truly setting up, their business. Each club is a business. They'll set dues, they'll set fundraising goals, they'll map out their travel. They'll, as Ruth had alluded to earlier, they'll actually recruit and interview and hire coaches. And so it's truly a real world experience. And one of the ways that we help facilitate the growth this year, we really worked on the two books that are pictured here. And there was actually an online component of the Extreme Ownership Academy. And so both the Club Sport Council and the lead supervisors, which really run the day in, day out side aspects for us, it was about 20 students total. And we took them through the program and it was both books were covered. And we really, as you can kind of see the feedback, we were really able to teach leadership strategies and tactics that they were able to immediately implement with their constituents. And frequently it was brought up that I had a group project and I was able to apply these tactics and stuff. So it was definitely beneficial and something that we're going to continue to develop on. This year, we also set record numbers of participation. And so we had 769 student athletes. That's 269 more than varsity athletics. It is definitely a participation record for us. And you can kind of see the breakdown. We were at about a 70-30 split, so 70% men, 30% female. And Jill, I'll let you grab the next couple slides.
Yeah, so what club sports really does for the athletes here is that we are participating in games that are organized at home. We have a lot of students throughout the fall and spring semesters who will leave for the weekend to go support and compete out of state. And so I'm losing my train of thought. But basically these students will organize all of this. So that 2,800 financial transactions, that's all student led with a guiding hand from John. And so these students are, before they're allowed to do any competition, we all have to be certified in CPR. We get to talk with our athletic trainers. It's a really great experience.
Yeah, and so just as we kind of go through the next few slides, it's just kind of highlighting those statistics and stuff as mentioned. And so we recently, I guess it's been about 5 years now, we've had a contract with Stadium Medical to provide an athletic trainer at all of our on-campus practices and games, anything that we're hosting. We also implemented baseline concussion testing, as well as just providing evaluations. We had a fair amount of injuries. Rolled ankles was the #1 injury this year, in case you're wondering on that. We also help with proctoring exams and excused absences. This year I'm sorry, go ahead, Jill.
Oh, you're good. And to talk about the proctored exams, this means that our club sport athletes are taking time off even during our common hour exams and for assignments and everything, and students will take these tests on the road, which is pretty incredible.
This year, we hosted 935 campuses or practices on campus. You can see the practice hours and the participation numbers. And again, that doesn't count games or tournaments. As Adam mentioned about PA credit, virtually every club sports student athlete earns their PA credit through club sports. Next year, it will be 1 credit hour. So that's going to give us a little more flexibility on out of season clubs and so forth. And as mentioned, we hosted 65 different home events. So if that was a double hitter for baseball, that would just count one. We had a women's rugby tournament that had 14 games in one day, and that only counted one as well. And as we've mentioned many times, we rely heavily on the student staff, and we're really fortunate to have great student employees. Then this year, we really did a great job of capturing the moment. We had 40 plus photo galleries that you can check out. They're high resolution photos. And so those are on mindsathletics.com/galleries, and you can see that. We'll continue to build up on that. And then this year we traveled to more than 100 away competitions in 16 different states. Jill, do you want to grab?
Yep, sorry. So how all the clubs do this is that we have to make sure that there's funding for all the hotels when they travel out of state, how clubs are getting there, and how we do this all is that they pay a fee at the beginning of each semester to support their club, and then they usually fundraise with us. What this does is that the fundraising allows students not to have to pay as much out of pocket, but each student, in order to participate, does pay an out-of-pocket cost. So one of the ways that we fundraise and let our students be able to go to all their tournaments and their national games is we participate in the gold mine campaigns, which is led by Allie, who's here today. And Allie has been fantastic in helping us raise so much money and allow all our student athletes who wouldn't normally be able to afford that travel to go and participate in these huge games. Allie, any other bits of that?
Well, you all do an amazing job. So I'm here just to guide and to coach through the fundraising process. It really is the student athletes and their collective work in raising that money. If anybody is ever interested in getting involved, there's a lot of different ways to help these club teams, travel for national competitions, regional competitions, etc. It's just goldmine.minds.edu. We're actually going to be launching a brand new website starting with the fall semester. So anybody that's interested, we will share that out as needed.
Thank you, Allie. So just a few slides left, and then we'll open it up for questions and stuff. And thank you all again for being here today, and Adam and Jill for participating as well. So this year we had a lot of success on and off the field. 13 of the 20 clubs qualified for postseason play. Men's Ultimate had their best year in program history. They qualified for the national championships. Basketball, they competed at the national championships in Maryland. And this year, as esports, as their first year with club sports, they were a group with student activities before, but not only are they with club sports, but they're also competing at the varsity level. So that's really impressive. Hockey finished number 24 in the nation. And then men's rugby had another strong season. In the fall, they play 15, so 15 on 15. They finished in the top 16, a lot of numbers there. In the spring, they play 7 on 7, and the men finished in the top 10 this year.
John, I have a question before you move on. I would imagine that during COVID, your esports program really got some traction because of the nature of it, right? Can you elaborate on what your esports programs are? How many are there? And, what does that look like? That's kind of a new wrinkle in an otherwise very traditional athletic sort of program.
Sure, and I can let Adam help on this one as well. During COVID, we started putting on esports at the intramural level. And so then, as you mentioned, the growth definitely took off during COVID for esports, and it really kind of brought the spotlight on it. And so as the program kind of continued to develop, we were able to connect with the student group that had started, and we worked together to kind of bring them up to this level. They have about 20 student athletes right now. They play Rocket League and Overwatch. And then Adam, I don't know if you have additional comments on what we've done on the esports side. Adam was really instrumental on the intramural side and getting things going.
Yeah, so certainly during COVID, we we tried to offer esports, because it's video games and it's something that you can do from your own home, in kind of that safe environment. And so the esports here on campus is definitely a large group, and they do compete in some of those games that John had mentioned, Rocket League and Overwatch, also League of Legends and Valorant and CS:GO, and so some of these terms you may not be familiar with, but it is something that the students really enjoy. And as John had mentioned, it's a great opportunity for them to kind of get involved together without having to be in the same room, really, so.
It is certainly up and coming, and we're really excited. I think that the growth potential for esports is certainly unlimited, and these are all computer-based games for folks if they were wondering. So, women's rugby really been a champion club for us the last maybe 6 years or so. Both on and off the pitch, frequently have members of the club that are on the club sport council, but this year in the fall, again, competing on 15s, they finished third in the nation, and that's 4 straight years that they've finished in the top 4, including in 2019, they were the runners up. This spring, on the 7-on-7s, they lost a heartbreaker in the last seconds of the game in the national championship game. But another really strong season from them. And this is one we can all be excited about. Easily the best athletic team in Mines history is our mountain cycling team. And as you can see, they won their 4th consecutive national championship. But that bottom little text there of they were the 2nd highest scoring among all clubs. That's D1 level. That's all the clubs. So they were the 2nd highest scoring of all the clubs in the nation. So really exciting. Ways to get involved. So we certainly are active on social media and would love to connect with you, and we would encourage you to share and like. If you're around, or if we travel to your town, if you can come out and support or attend an event, that'd be great. Then also just there's other ways donating and sponsoring, and kind of turn it over to Jill and Adam a little bit. I apologize really quick. This is where to connect with us on social media. It's at Mines Rec Sports for all of the different platforms.
And yeah, real quick with the if certainly you're around the Golden area, want to watch our events on campus, certainly that'd be awesome. Or if like John said, if we're coming to your town, if you visit our minesathletics.com website, all of the club sports teams are listed there, and you'll be able to view all of their schedules for the year. So you'll be able to see whether they're competing here at home on campus, or where they're going to be at any given weekend. And so some other ways to potentially support us, for the intramural side of things, obviously the main reason that students are participating is they want one of our coveted champ shirts, our intramural champion shirts. And so something we're really looking to do is to obtain sponsors for our intramural champ shirts. Yearly, it costs around $3,000 for printing and obtaining these champ shirts. And so if we can get some sponsorships to help kind of cover that cost, that definitely helps out the program in a big way. So this was just one example. Era Energy, the company Era Energy, had sponsored our champ shirts one year. And so the company logos and things like that will get featured on the shirts, and these students are wearing these shirts constantly. So that's why this is what I had here next to me. It might be tough to see, but we went to a conference and our shirt got second place in regards to the design and everything like that. So we got some really cool stuff here. Might be tough to see, but this was kind of play on some of the equations that students use on a regular basis. So we have champ spelled out and then the accompanying equation there. And then this year, what we did is we kind of did a play off of the periodic table. So that's the shirts over here in the chair, where we spelled out champ using different elements from the periodic table. And so it's really cool, unique stuff that the students really enjoy here. And that's why they love them so much. They're unique to our school and our students here. So.
And just as a club sport athlete, I have to say, we had a really great opportunity about a year ago, supporting women and club sports and women athletes and women engineers. But as a club sport athlete, you know, and as a student, it's always such a relief and an opportunity for all of us who might not have the chance otherwise to participate in sports like this. And I know as a student who's received and had the opportunity to interact with all kinds of alumni and people and fellow students, that anytime one of these students gets an opportunity to get back or to participate, it just turns into this incredible opportunity for everyone. And to be able to see students actively being able to do the things they love, it's a really great opportunity.
Thank you, Joel and Adam. Really appreciate it. That's the conclusion of our presentation. I know we kind of spilled over a little bit into the question and answer time, but turn it back over to you, Ruth.
Sure. Of course, I always have questions, so I'll start. Do most of the athletes who participate in both intramural and club, have they played sports in high school? They come to the program with some experience. They're not just, newbies, or are they? I mean, you probably runs the gamut. If they don't make it onto a varsity team, right? Do they tend to pick up with a club sport or an intramural team at some point?
So I can actually, water polo. Water polo is not the most common sport out there. However, we do have students who have never even touched a pool before, who decide to participate in the sport. And then we have some who have been playing it for years and years. So it's really a broad kind of profile that comes to play these sports, which is really cool. And it's also interesting because we only have students really leading this, how everyone kind of starts to stick up for those who haven't played and really likes to guide everyone through how to play the sports. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. And I love that you have some faculty and staff who jump in there here and there. Do they? Yeah.
Yeah, so for intramural sports, like I said, it's mostly for the Mines students, but also faculty and staff can participate. And so intramural, since it is more recreational in nature, we do get a wide range of experience levels that people who played soccer all growing up through high school and still wanting to kind of play in more of a structured environment. And like Jill mentioned, hey, other students who they've never seen a soccer ball, they have no idea how to play the game, and they're just coming out because some of their friends said, hey, you should come try this with us. So very wide range.
Does anyone else have a question or a comment to share? Or of the alums on the call, were any of you involved in these programs when you were students?
I was Rich Ryan. I played with the hockey club, but it was much more informal in 70 and 71. And yeah, I've got a question for John about how do you basically start a new sport? I'm on the board, have been in the past, and there are a number of Mines alumni. We're all curlers, and you've got a world-class facility just 4 miles away. Denver University uses our facility and plays in our leagues, and I don't see any reason that mine shouldn't.
Yeah, that's a great question. So all clubs start off as organizations with SAIL, student activities. And they start there. The reason for that is we want to ensure like the longevity of the club. Sometimes students are gonna set the world on fire and then by November you can't get in touch with them and stuff. And so we kind of like to see a little bit of a proof of concept. And so we would have students would have to create this organization with SAIL, and then after 1 year of competing and participating, raising dues, all the stuff that we kind of talked about that the clubs do, they could petition to be a club sport, and we would kind of take it from there. So to answer your question, they would need an actual organization would be to start off with SAIL and start up from there. But I don't know why there couldn't potentially be an intramural sport or something like that. I'll put Adam on the spot, but there could be some potential for doing some other things to bring exposure and highlight the opportunity and again, provide more opportunities and more offerings for the students.
So SAIL is obviously an acronym. What is it?
Student activities, involvement, leadership, I believe is what it is.
Okay.
So Rich, we probably could get you information on that, step by step, if you would like to pursue that. John and Adam, I'm sure you guys could help there too and see where that goes. I don't know about the rest of you on this call who live locally, but did you all know that there's a curling facility so close to campus? Anybody? Yeah, that could be so cool. And it begs another question that I have is that, John, you were saying earlier, there are so many programs, so many sports. We've only got so much space, right? You've got multiple teams. You're all over campus, making use of the facilities we do have. What percentage of your programs have to compete or practice off-site? Is that a problem?
Well, the obvious ones like ski, hockey,
Skiing. Sure.
they do. But I'd say most of our clubs do practice on campus. And so just kind of like to give folks maybe like a philosophical overview, varsity sports has from 3 to 6:30. Whether that be in the student recreation center or the Clear Creek complex, the field house, et cetera, that's their dedicated time. And then from about 6:30 or 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock is when intramurals and club sports practice. The one exception is the IM fields. We get to start at 4 o'clock there, but every club sport shares space. So men's and women's rugby, they share field space during practice time. Men's and women's water polo, men's and women's soccer, on down the line. And then we're also sharing with intramurals. So we may have club volleyball going on while intramural basketball is going on or thereabouts. And so as we kind of look at like growth and so forth, that's kind of where we're running into a little bit of a challenge is space and funding. We won't get additional funding for adding any new club. I don't mean that as a negative thing, but just, as we mentioned, the cost and so forth associated. So when we would look to add a new club, that would be something that we'd be looking at as part of the whole process is how does it impact current clubs and are we really going to be able to help them and benefit them and stuff. And also, I guess one final thing is there's nothing wrong with being a student organization with SAIL. There's nothing limiting or wrong with that at all.
All good points for sure. You've got your hands full, and you're right. We encourage everyone to participate and to get involved, but you also have to be mindful of your bandwidth so that you can support everybody to the best of your abilities to make it a quality program for the students who want to play. Does anyone
One quick
else?
note I just want to mention, from geophysics, Tom Davis and his wife Pat are international curlers, competed for years. And it was Stevenson dealership that donated that space for the hockey or the curling place on just off Indiana there.
Oh, I did not know that, Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still owe Stevenson a large loan. That facility cost over $3 million. And our membership raised about 700,000, and the rest of it was a loan from Scott Stevenson.
Ah. Well, we'll see where that goes. Perhaps we'll end up with at least maybe an intramural team that could do curling. I don't know much about it, but I think it'd be super cool. And Rich, thank you for your continued interest, and we'll see where that goes. Could be really cool. Any other comments or questions for the good of the order? We'd love to hear from you. Anybody? Okay. Well, I want to thank John and Jill and Adam. Amazing, all that you do that many of us don't see because it happens after work hours, right? You're here at 6 o'clock at night until probably, the wee hours with all of these competitions. But it's wonderful. And of course, is an integral part of the student experience here, looking at the percentage of students who participate. That's overwhelming. I mean, so congratulations to all of you for all that you're doing and all that you're allowing our students to take part in. It's great. We appreciate your time today. I would just point your attention to the screen here. If you do have questions for Adam or for Jill or for John, please feel free to reach out to them via email and check out their website, address right there. Go Orediggers, right? We're about to start another academic year. Before you know it, students are going to be arriving on campus and everything's going to pop. And I know you will have a presence at the Celebration of Minds, correct? Which is our annual big festival for all students to sign up for all of the organizations and clubs that they want to be involved in for the coming year. And that's quite a spectacle. How many pop-up tents are out there? I don't know how many more they can fit, but every club has a presence out there. Before we wrap things up, and as I do at the end of each program, I just want to give a plug for next month. And I think many of you have signed up already, which is great, but we are excited to say hello and get acquainted with our new football coach, Pete Sturbick. He'll be joining us for our July program, which is on Thursday, July 20th. Of course, always the third Thursday of the month. You can register for that program at the same place that you registered for this one. And that is our alumni and foundation website, which is weare.minds.edu. And if you hover your mouse over the word alumni on the top bar, you'll see the pull down menu of events, and you'll click there and select Lunch Bunch. So we're excited to hear from Coach Pete. He's been a part of the Minds community for a while, and now he's stepping up to lead the charge and pick up on the amazing energy and success that we had last season. And so please join us, bring your questions, bring your Oredigger spirit, and we'll get her done. Andy or John, my partners in crime with the alumni group, you guys have anything for the good of the order that you'd like to share or say before we say goodbye?
Thank you all for joining, and thank our team for presenting today, and go Orediggers.